Hey, I'm Spenser.
And I'm Britain.
Since 2011, Buckethead has released 308 albums in his Pikes series, and we're going to listen to them.
3 at a time.
This is Getting Head.
Welcome, steers and queers, Tears for Fears. John Muir, Norman Lear, the guy who runs the brand No Fear. Richard Gere, drinkers of beer, people with 2 or fewer ears. Members of our Patreon tiers. Eric Clapton's Heaven Tears, Spinal Tap bassist Harry Shearer. We're the Masturbaty Teachers. Here's the Masturbaty class. It's episode 86 of Gettin' Head.
A
Bucketcast!
Oh my God. Wow. Look at that. We're already here to 86. 1986 is one of my favorite years. A lot of great thrash metal albums released that year. Slayer's Reign in Blood. Dark Angels, Darkness Descends, an iconic record.
There's a lot of riffs on that album.
A lot of riffs. Some might say too many riffs.
Shut the fuck up.
Hey, there can be too many riffs. It can happen.
Excuse me? We're on a goddamn Buckethead podcast, Spenser. You take that bad attitude and get the fuck out of town, please.
True. I can't be
Jesus.
I can't be a riff truther here. It's not allowed.
You're riff-pilled.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so 86. In American English, and particularly in the food service industry, 86 has become a slang term referring to an item being out of stock or discontinued, and by extension, to a person no longer welcome on the premises.
Yeah, like if you're kicked out of a bar, you're no longer welcome there. You're 86th. In grocery terms, they call that officially trespassed.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Okay, so 86 is the code for international direct dial phone calls to China.
Interesting. But tell me about the ISBN number.
It doesn't say on Wikipedia.
What the fuck?
I know. I was hoping for the ISBN group identifier number whatever country, but apparently it doesn't exist.
We don't have book facts today.
I do have an anime fact today.
Oh, do you? That's interesting.
86 is often used in Japan as the nickname for the Toyota AE86. They call it 86 there, but so the Toyota AE86, the reason why that's important is that's the car that is primarily featured in the anime series Initial D, which is the only anime series I have ever watched and enjoyed.
Interesting.
So that's the relevance there.
Fucking weeb.
I deserve that. I deserve that in this circumstance.
Yeah, I bet you like the Initial D, all right?
Yeah. Yeah, like when it just starts to go in.
Yeah,
that's the initial D.
The initial D.
Yeah, exactly.
Just the initial.
You and I went to a show together.
We did.
Last Saturday.
We did. We went to Steely Dan.
Yeah, we went and saw Steely Dan at White River Amphitheater in Auburn, Washington.
Now, first off, the drive there, we
oh my God.
we talked about it. I'm like, the day before, I'm like, okay, so White River Amphitheater is always a fuck show.
It's always fucking fucked.
Like, I wanna basically get there. I don't care if we get there an hour or two early. I'll bring like a 6-pack of beer and we can fucking just like hang out in the parking lot and like hang out with Steely Dan fans and fucking tailgate, because that'd be awesome, right?
Yeah.
And so you're like, okay, that's cool. And I'm like, when do you think we should leave? And you're like, 4 o'clock. I'm like, all right, 4 o'clock. So
all right.
I leave my house at 3:30.
Yeah.
Usually takes maybe.
And you're a very punctual person.
I am.
I will say that you're almost always like very on time.
Right. I plan everything out, and so I put it into Google, and Google says like I'm gonna be there. I'm like, I have to get gas, and so I plug it into Google, and Google says I'm going to be there at like 4:10. And so I text Spenser immediately.
You're like, I'm going to be like a couple minutes late.
Yeah, I'll be there right after 4 o'clock. So
Mm-hmm.
So I get gas and I start coming here, and like I noticed the fucking like highway, there's a huge line to get onto Montlake, which is the off ramp I usually take to get to your place. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. And so I text you again. I'm like, maybe a few more minutes late. I don't know. It looks like here's like,
and
the traffic's wild.
This was at like 4:05.
Yeah, and
I was like, okay.
I'm like, yeah, the
sure.
traffic is wild. I don't know what's going on because this is the way that Google is telling me to go. And so finally, I get to the off ramp, and by now it's like maybe 4:15, 4:20 or something like that.
Yeah,
and
4:20.
Nice. But I noticed that fucking Montlake Bridge is closed. I have no way to get to you.
Yes.
And so I get back on the highway.
So hold on. For context here, like this is an exit off of a major like highway. And if that exit is closed, like you have no option but to go to a different highway, drive in a different direction, and do like a giant loop around.
And so I had to do that giant loop around. And that was fine. That would be fine because usually I can just get off on 45th, go up to 47th, and drive directly pretty much straight to your place from there.
But the comedy of errors continues.
However, there was a giant street festival that lasted like all weekend.
I still don't know what that was.
Yeah, and I told you, and you're like, oh, that's the farmer's market. I'm like, I don't think so. Because like the farmer's market's pretty big in U District, but this is taking like the entire avenue.
Yeah.
And so like I had to drive all the way around there, and because everyone was so confused because they did not mark this out properly at all.
And like apparently the apps didn't know about it.
Yeah.
So like it was sending people in the wrong directions. It's all compounded. So when you texted me that like Montlake Bridge was closed, you're like, fuck, Montlake Bridge is closed. This sucks. I'm gonna be around, probably be there like 4:45.
Yeah, and so when I figured out that like the whole avenue was closed and it would take me another 20 minutes, I'm like, I started to text you. I'm like, fuck it. I'm just angry right now. I'm just gonna like show up when I fucking show up because I know if I say 10 more minutes, inevitably they'll close down another fucking street. Like a fire hydrant will just like dematerialize and fucking destroy a cross section just so I can't get to you. And so eventually I get there at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, and so when was the show supposed to start?
The show starts at 7:30.
7:30.
So I get here at 5 o'clock.
You get here at 5, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that should still leave us plenty of time, even if there's kind of bad traffic. We'll just take the I-5. And so like it gives me this weird direction through town. And I'm like, that's silly. That doesn't make any sense. Google's being a fool. So I decided
you learned to not trust Google earlier in the day because Google's sending you in the wrong direction. So look, when I was in the car with you and it started sending us like this weird direction, instead of just taking the highway, it was like, oh, drive all the way through downtown Seattle and all this shit. And I was like, dude, that sounds bad.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that.
Because I'm like, it's the I-5 on a Saturday. How bad can it be?
Turns out pretty fucking bad.
Turns out they took the 4-lane highway and reduced it down to one lane at one point.
And so the craziest part about this is we ended up leaving Seattle city limits. So the place that we're going is technically speaking maybe like 45 minutes to an hour outside of Seattle. That being said, due to traffic, that ranges pretty significantly. But we didn't get out of Seattle city limits until 7:05.
Yeah, right. And then from there it was smooth sailing.
Yeah, honestly, to get to the venue, and typically it's getting to the venue is the worst part about going to this particular venue. But we were so late that like I feel like we just
we weren't. I mean, we're actually late. We showed up at 7:30 basically.
Yeah, we did.
Like
which was actually fantastic.
Yeah, when
we showed
parked,
up at the perfect time.
Yeah, when we parked is like when the opening band started playing basically, which was fine because it was Snarky Puppy and they were pretty cool.
They were pretty cool.
But so this was my second time seeing the Dan. How'd you like the Dan, Spenser?
Oh, they were fantastic.
Yeah,
such a great arrangement of players. The guitar players in particular were
so
fucking amazing. Like I was really surprised and impressed by just how like jazzy the guitar solos were. They were like so fusion all over the place, fucking doing all these like really wild phrasing and like super fast shredding, and like the guitar solos were like absolutely next level. Like, just unbelievably good.
Craziest accidentals you'll ever hear in a guitar solo.
Yeah, it was
like you'll hear him play a note and be like, "Is that? Oh, that is right."
Yeah, it's like jazz as fuck guitar solos, which was super tight. The whole band was super tight. The sound was okay. It's
just a huge venue, and it's like partially outdoors. It's like the White River's not good for sound.
I struggled to hear the bass, which was my biggest disappointment. Because I couldn't often hear what exactly was happening in the bass. Everything else I could hear pretty well, but the bass just got really muddy.
Yeah, when he
mixed
slapped,
with, like,
it was really articulate,
Yeah.
but like a lot of the fingerstyle stuff was a little more subdued.
It just mixed with like the low frequencies on the drums, and it just became like a general low frequency bulbous mass, you know. But the band was absolutely sick, and they slayed, dude.
Yeah.
And I love that there was like very little downtime between songs. It was just like boom, 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 boom. We're playing the songs. Gonna say some awkward stuff here and there.
Yeah.
But then we're just fucking gonna bang out the banger.
And I gotta say, like, it was pretty good. I will say, when I saw them the first time, of course, they had Walter Becker, who is now deceased, original member
R.I.P.
of the band. But they played for literally twice as long when I saw them.
I was expecting them to play for longer.
Yeah, because when I saw them, they had a brief intermission, but without the intermission, they played for almost 2.5 hours. And the show was 3 hours long altogether.
Yeah, like I feel like at this show they barely played a little over an hour.
Yeah, it was a pretty subdued set, and like I was talking with a guy who makes awesome Steely Dan bootleg merch, Double Wonderful, about it. And I sent him like the set list after, because he told folks like, hey, if you see the tour, send me like the set list, or if they play anything weird, tell me. And so I sent him the set list, and we talked about it. And he's like, I'm like, yeah, it was kind of a not great. I mean, it was like a greatest hit set, and like the only thing partially obscure they played was like Third World Man, and that's not even obscure.
Yeah.
And so we're like, yeah. And he's like seeing like 100 Steely Dan concerts. Like he travels to see Dan.
Damn, that's tight.
Yeah. He also has like the world's largest collection of Steely Dan T-shirts. It fucking rocks. like original T-shirts.
What a title to have.
Yeah, like that's how he kind of like initially like gained popularity, is just sharing his Steely Dan T-shirt collections. And then like he was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start making T-shirts, and now he's super successful doing it.
You love to see it. You love to see it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it was cool seeing this incarnation of Steely Dan. Like I do agree with you. Like it felt. And I don't mean this in a negative way, because I really like Steely Dan, and I really liked watching them. I had a really good time watching the band play. Like, it was really fun. And just, like, hanging out with you there was really fun.
Yeah.
There's other things that we did at the show that I'll talk about in a second.
Yeah.
But, like, I felt like it was kind of mid.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you're not wrong.
Just in the sense of, like...
For Steely Dan, it was mid.
The song choices... were not the most exciting. They did play, you know, some bangers, some hits, some good stuff, but like it was, you know, yeah, it's fine. It felt very like we're gonna play to the radio hits.
It was kind of third world mid.
But let me tell you about some of my favorite things from the show. So, the beers at the show were
prohibitively expensive.
$16 a piece.
Thank you for buying me a beer.
You're welcome. I would have bought your second beer, but you bought it without me realizing it. So I would have bought that one too, because you drove, which I still owe you cash for driving. So the beers were $16 a piece. So instead of getting a beer, I got this seltzer thing that was like a very large. It was huge. I think it was like 36 ounces.
It was like a Bud Light Cola.
No, it wasn't Bud Light. It was a different brand.
Oh, I thought it was Bud Light. No,
was it not Bud?
I think it was Bud Light. Yeah, I think it was a Bud Light Cola, and it was like 24 ounces or 28 ounces. It was huge.
I think it was 36.
Was it 36 ounces?
Or 28. It was at least
28 or 32, 36.
But
it was like a big gulp.
It was cola flavored, and it was like zero sugar. So it basically tasted like flat Coke Zero.
It didn't taste bad.
But it had booze in it. And here's the thing. I actually liked the flavor of it enough to drink the whole thing. It actually didn't get that cloying. I expected it to, but it was actually tasted fine.
Yeah.
But two things about that. Firstly, it didn't taste like booze at all, which was scary to me.
Yeah.
Like, it was scary because, like, halfway through it, I forgot I was drinking an alcoholic beverage.
Excellent.
And then, like, we were also, like, fucking smoking joints in the parking lot and shit. So,
true.
You know, I forgot that I was drinking an alcoholic beverage, but then I forgot again later on because I didn't really feel an effect from it. Like, it was like 5%, but it was large. So you'd think I would
at least get a pretty good buzz, but it was...
And I felt like I sort of did, but like not really.
I feel like the seltzer buzz just doesn't hit nearly the same as like a beer or hard alcohol or anything like that. It's, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like when I drink, I like to get like tipsy. And so like I can't really do like a White Claw or anything, because there's only 2 modes of White Claw. It's
Yeah.
like edibles. It's like, I don't think this is working. And then like,
I've had too many
what
fucking
the
White Claws.
fuck. Yeah.
So that has happened to me before.
Oh yeah, I've been with you when that's happened, Spenser. You've gotten White Claw wasted in my presence before.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I've definitely gotten White Claw wasted. The most wasted I ever got on White Claws. I don't know if I've told this story on the podcast. I might have, but like the last like major birthday party that our mutual friend and past guest Monty McCleary had was at the Highline before they closed. It's a bar here in Seattle. It has a lot of metal shows. It was at some like death metal show.
Yep.
And I went there, and I think you were there. I don't remember though. Anyways, I was drinking White Claws because that was in vogue at the time. This was like 2019, I think, or 2020 before COVID.
Yep.
And BC, 2020 BC. And I was like drinking these White Claws, and I was also drinking like gin and tonics. But our past guest, Andrew Jameson, kept buying me White Claws.
Excellent.
And I think I had 9 White Claws and 2 gin and tonics, and I was feeling pretty good up until like I decided to leave, and I got a Lyft home. And
you did tell me about. I think you did tell this on like one of the first episodes.
This would have been right around the time that we maybe started the podcast, or just a little bit after. But on the way home, I was like blocks from my house, like right up the road, and I realized like I'm going to vomit, and I was like, "Yo, man, I got to get out of your car. I got to get out of your car right this moment." And he was like, "What? What?" I'm like, "Right here, right here, right here." And he stops. And I kick open the door. I was really drunk. I kicked open the door as I started projectile vomiting. So I projectile vomited all over the inside of the door. All over the inside of the door. And I was like, oh,
Spenser,
no.
what have you done?
And so it was all white. It was just this white foam.
White Claw for real. It was,
White Claw, yeah.
That's the fucking White Claw wave right there, baby.
Catch a wave, White Claw wave. So I took off my hoodie and started wiping it down with my hoodie.
Oh no! Oh, Spenser.
Which just proved to like smear it all over the door and inside of all the crevasses. And I was like,
"Oh, child, what has you done?"
I was like, "I think I got it pretty good. I'm sorry. And then I just ran away. And the homie got in his car, drove down the road, got out of his car in front of me because I was running away from his car. And he was like, "Yo, you puked all over my car." And I was like, "I'm so sorry, bro. I'm so sorry." And then I ran away and ran into my house, and I tipped him $100.
Okay, that's fair.
I felt really bad.
Yeah. I'm glad you tipped him $100. That's a nice end of the story, actually.
Well, actually, I have an even better end for the story. So
Okay.
I got that Lyft using my company's commuter card.
You did tell me about that.
And they paid for all of it.
We love that.
Rock and
Fucking
roll.
love that, baby.
Rock and roll. I love, well, okay. I don't love trickle-down economics, but when you're right under the spigot, sometimes some stuff happens. That's okay.
All right. That's a lesson, I guess.
Anyways, back to the show. The other thing that happened at the show is we went and got kettle corn, which you thankfully encouraged me to do, even though the line was really long. It was my favorite thing from the whole night.
Excellent.
To be honest, that kettle corn was incredible. I ate all of it, every single kernel. And I also gave some out to some of the vendors working at the show.
Excellent.
Which is fun. You'll love to see it.
Yeah.
Anyways, at the kettle corn stand, there was a cyber goth man working at the kettle corn stand. It was the Steely Dan show, and I just think that that's amazing.
It was like he looked exactly like Devin Townsend.
Yeah.
It was Devin Townsend's,
but like wearing goggles, like cyber goth goggles.
I think Devin Townsend wears goggles, dude.
He wears goggles now?
He definitely wears goggles sometimes.
I don't know about him wearing goggles.
He's such a goggleman. Are you kidding me? Look at him.
Yeah, okay.
Listen to his music. He's so goggly.
All right.
He's a goggleman.
He's goggle-pilled?
He's totally goggle-pilled.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of goggle-pilled, I think it's time for goth news.
Let's do it.
Beneath the weeping moon, it's goth news. Goth news for cool dudes.
This week in Goth News, Electronic Arts publisher of The Sims series of games finally gave a Goth update.
Oh.
Mortimer and Bella Goth, which is their surname, have been the default starter family in all of the mainline Sims titles since its beginning. But this week marks the first time the family's wardrobe has been updated to nothing but shades of red, gray, and black. According to a statement by associate producer John Fassien, one of the most meaningful sentiments was that the Goths, and Bella specifically, were interpreted as darker skinned, Fassien said. There was some variance in fan opinion about which real-world ethnicities, if any, they were meant to represent. Additionally, darker is a very relative term, and with the variety of skin pigmentation, we need to figure out what that actually meant to players. Representation is also more than skin color, he continued. We tried to identify facial features that were not as diverse or apparent within our existing facial mods, but still fit the mold of player perception for these characters.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Goth as fuck.
And this week in Goth obituaries, drumming legend and Seattle local Alan White passed away this morning in his home in Newcastle, right outside of Seattle, following a brief illness. White is best known for a nearly 50-year stint with English prog rock band Yes, replacing Bill Bruford in 1972 when he went to join King Crimson. He's also known as being one of the primary drummers on John Lennon's Imagine, which is not very goth.
That's true.
White,
Thank you for calling it out.
Absolutely. I mean, imagine all the gothic people.
Yeah.
White played over 3,000 shows with Yes during his tenure with the band.
Mm-hmm.
He is survived by his wife of over 40 years, Gigi, and their children Jesse and Cassie. Rest in peace, Goth brother. And most importantly, stay dead.
Rock and roll.
And finally, in Goth news this week, Goth and pizza patriarch Papa John Schnatter appeared on Piers Morgan's talk show on Talk TV to discuss cancel culture and the media mob persecuting people for mischaracterized statements, specifically in the context of Papa John and also in the context of Netflix, a company who was criticized this week for releasing a comedy special by Ricky Gervais that is largely transphobic jokes and entirely unfunny.
Oh, I haven't heard about this.
I watched the first 20 minutes of
I
it.
hadn't even heard of this.
And let me tell you, I was staring at the gun the whole time. Whole time.
You keep saying that phrase. Just like, gonna eat a gun, staring at the gun, looking down the barrel. It's just like gun reference after gun reference. Okay, Kurt Cobain.
Yeah. Schnatter.
Something's in the way, huh?
Yeah.
It's the fact that I want to kill myself.
Good one. Good one. Schnatter stepped down as CEO of Papa John's in 2018 after he blamed declining sales on football players protesting the treatment of black people in America, causing their stock to fall 30%. Then he used the N-word during a conference call.
Dark news from cool dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Brit, I got a story to tell you.
What do you got?
Okay,
Spenser, Spade?
so we got a new person on the management team at work this week. And this dude is like, he's in my department and he's in management, but he's not exactly a manager. He's like a junior manager or whatever.
Okay.
And like when I met this dude, right, I started talking to my friends about him. I was like, I don't know if I like this guy. Like, he's got real like assistant manager at GameStop energy. Like,
oh, NFT energy?
So no.
Okay.
Homie wears sweatpants to work.
Sweatpants rule. I don't That's cool.
No.
He could be from Philadelphia. You never know.
So after talking to this guy a little bit more, I was like, you know what? And I said this to a friend of mine at work. I was like, this dude gives me real Phish energy.
Oh, no.
And then later in the day, and I shit you not, this is exactly what happened. I said this to my friend, and then later in the day, he comes up to me, and I'm just hanging out, working. I'm working on taking apart a computer, and he's like, yo, man, what kind of music you like? And I was like, well, like mostly like death metal and like 80s Japanese fusion and like weird shit like that. Like, I don't know. I like all sorts of weird stuff. And he was like, cool, man. Cool. And I was like, And he's like, yeah, man, I guess I'm like real into like jam bands.
Oh.
And then I was like,
you don't say.
and then I immediately was like, oh yeah, I got you. Ripping nitrous at the Phish show, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, he looks at me and he smiles real big and he's like, I didn't say it. Oh, and I was like, I cannot believe I called this as hard as I did. Like, what the fuck?
You got a meme manager, dude.
Bro, I was like, oh, dude, this dude is like Rick and Morty pilled as fuck. Like, I can tell. Like he is like...
I mean, at least now you
Bro.
know he's easy to, like, control as a manager.
Oh, yeah. Like, I was,
you-
like, worried about him originally, but, like,
No,
once I found out
because
that...
he's a fucking loser, and you can fucking, like, walk all over him. Like...
It's, I'm, like, stoked. I was like,
that's amazing.
fuck yeah. Phish manager, let's go.
Fish man.
Like, fucking yes, please ruin your brain with nitrous. I love it.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking tight. So that happened to me.
Yeah, he's gonna turn your workplace into like Pike Place and make it a fish market.
Fuck off. What's new with you, Brit?
Not a whole lot. Just working a lot and stuff. Being outside, that's real nice.
Yeah, working's okay.
Yeah. I yeah. Especially working like a real physical job. That's real nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like that.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Anything fun from work happen?
No, not really. Power washing shit. Fucking, fucking just doing maintenance and shit.
All right.
Learning some electrical stuff, whatever. It's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. We love to see it.
Indeed.
I think it's time for Bucket
I
Fact.
think you're right. It's time for a bucket fact.
Bucket fact, 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 bucket fact.
Today, we are going to talk about an unreleased Bucket album.
Bucket album?
Bucket album. Excuse me. I had to burp, and so I'm like, I got to rush this. Instead of saying Buckethead album,
Yeah, you should have 2112'd it.
Bucket album.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rushed it.
Yeah. Shut up.
Uh,
So we're going to talk about an unreleased Buckethead album called Super Diorama Theater.
I thought you were going to say Super Diarrhea Theater.
No, that is what happens after I give you an edible that's too strong and we get drunk together on your birthday.
Oh, yeah, that did happen. I passed out on the toilet. My girlfriend kicked the door down.
Yeah, we talk about that story, I think, on the previous episode.
Yeah, let's just keep talking about it like we didn't before.
It's pretty fun. So the album was announced first in 2002 by Buckethead's then label Catalyst, who at the time was also announcing the album Bermuda Triangle, which was eventually released, and the DVD Secret Recipe, which was also released on schedule. According to a Natternet interview with Extraked, I think I was going to do a few tracks on Super Diorama Theater, so it was a heavier sound. I think that was the first record of his that he worked with Dan Monti, and they were programming it together, and it seemed like he wanted to go away from the breakbeat sound into more metal programming, which I don't really do. So he was probably just so happy with how it sounded that it became Cuckoo Clocks of Hell. So initially, Super Diorama Theater was going to be a heavier album with hip-hop style breakbeats similar to Bermuda Triangle, but then Buckethead met Dan Monti, who produced his Buckethead 2 album, and decided to go for a heavier drum and bass sound, end quote.
Huh.
So with the same instrumentation...
I didn't realize that him and Dan Monti's partnership went back all the way to like 2002.
Yeah, so they actually met probably in 2001 or maybe early 2002 because Dan Monti was... they initially met because Dan Monti was one of the sound engineers for Chinese Democracy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So they met through Guns N' Roses way back when.
Yeah.
And they've been pretty much working together since.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, right? So with the same instrumentation, but Monty programming drums instead of Extraked programming just like breakbeats, the album became something entirely different. And Buckethead ended up self-releasing it as The Cuckoo Clocks of Hell.
Oh.
It'd be cool to hear the original version, but I'm glad the album was released after at all.
Bucket Bucket Fact.
We listened to 3 Pikes today.
We certainly did listen to 3 more Pikes. After I get my notes open, I can tell you exactly what they're called. They are Pikes 256, 257, and 258. Meteor Firefly Net.
Blank. What? I can't read from here.
Blank Slate.
Blank Slate.
And Echo, respectively.
I take my job here very seriously.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously.
Pike 256. The amount of colors in like old 8-bit computers.
That's correct. Yes.
Meteor Firefly Net, released on March 17th, 2017, just 8 days after Abominable Snow Scalp.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
This Pike is my favorite one from this week.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice album.
I think it's really good. This is a pretty solid Pike.
It's definitely a solid Pike.
It's he changes it up quite a bit in this one.
He does.
The songs are a mix of like mellow, acoustic centric, like almost post rock sorta.
I'd say more just like acoustic rock in a way.
Yeah, it's not super like new agey, but it's very like mellow and like acoustic, and then it will go into like actual like metal and shredding as well. But it's like heavy metal and shredding. It's not necessarily like just a long guitar solo.
Yeah, although the first half of the album, it's a 4-track album. First half of the album is like pretty much all mellow.
Yeah.
Second half of the album is where it really starts to switch it up a lot, and it gets really frenetic and frantic, and then it just goes super mellow. There's some crazy cool shred on the second half of the album.
I would agree.
Yeah, some like doom metal type stuff. Like my favorite track on this was probably track 3, Meteor Firefly Net, the titular track.
Yeah, that was actually my favorite track on this as well. It's like it's a very long atmospheric track, but it's got a lot of acoustic guitar, but a lot of dynamics and shredding.
And yeah, a lot of just like straight up like death metal, like super staccato, lots of double kicks and shit. It's really cool.
It is cool. It's almost like almost Opeth-ish. Almost.
At parts. Yeah, there's a like a kind of
the acoustic parts kind of remind me of that.
The acoustic parts,
song.
And then there is one part that kind of works out into almost a doomy psychedelic thing. And going from like acoustic to like doomy psychedelic was very Opeth. I could feel that.
Definitely.
And then last track, Nail Bridge, was also a really cool song. Kind of did the same thing, moving in and out between, cool acoustic parts. And we should also mention he's using the nylon string a lot on pretty much all 3 of these albums. Like
definitely,
we determined he picked up like a new nylon string guitar probably like 5 Pikes ago.
He must have,
and he keeps on using it more and more.
Better.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Like for his acoustic parts, it sounds so much nicer than his like steel string stuff from before.
I mean, he had used a nylon string before. It just didn't sound as good as
it didn't sound like this one at all. No. Like it sounded like he was miking a nylon string and not like a nylon acoustic electric, which is what this sounds like.
I could see that, yeah.
Or maybe just a nylon electric.
Or just like a nicer one.
Yeah,
Who
it
knows?
could be too. But it sounds real nice.
It does. It sounds great.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Have you seen a meteor?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of meteors. Shooting star?
Have you ever like seen one hit the Earth?
No.
Me either. It'd be pretty cool, probably.
I guess. I mean, most of them burn up before they get into the atmosphere, and if you can actually see it hit, you're probably going to get hit by it. So maybe some shrapnel.
Yeah, maybe not getting hit by one would be great.
That'd be bad. That'd be real bad.
Yeah.
So speaking of firefly nets, what is the largest living thing you've ever caught, Spenser?
Largest living thing I've ever caught, like a fish
in
Alaska.
Okay. Well,
like salmon.
What? Like king salmon?
I don't know. Or maybe a halibut.
Okay, yeah. If you've got a halibut, those are way bigger than salmon.
Yeah, halibuts are pretty big.
You've gone sea fishing for halibut before?
Yeah.
Weird.
I mean, I grew up in Alaska. Everybody does that.
No, not really. Like the only reason I ever went halibut fishing is because I knew someone who works on a halibut boat.
Well, yeah. The only reason I went to do it is because like I was in Homer and my mom wanted to with her brother because he knew somebody who had a boat or whatever. So I went out on the boat with them, and they were like, "Here, hold this fishing," and I was like, "I don't want to fish," and then we did. Anyway.
Do you still talk to Homer? Because you were at Homer, get it? Like
Homer, I hardly know her. Oh, speaking of which, oh my God. Okay, had an interaction at work the other day. There was some person like working at our store that like was from another store because we're like really down on people. It's like a nightmare. It fucking sucks. But anyways, we had this girl working with us, and I was like, "Oh, hi, who are you?" And she's like, "Oh, my name is Tabby." And I was like, "She's like, what's your name?" And I was like, "Spenser." She was like, "Spenser, I hardly know her."
That's pretty funny, actually.
And it was so like non sequitur that I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll give you that."
That's pretty funny.
That was
I like
funny.
that. I like that. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
All right, you
that's
seem
a great
all right.
way. Yeah.
Like,
No, that's a great icebreaker. I love that.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was a nice, joyous moment.
Speaking of nice, joyous moments, let's move on to Pike 257, Blank Slate. Released on March 24th, 2017, 7 days after Meteor Firefly Net.
This is the one that I keep wanting to call like Blind Date. You ever watch that show?
Yeah, I actually just introduced my friend to that show. She's a bit younger. She's like 26. And she had never seen Blind Date before. And so
damn.
we ended up watching like 4 hours of Blind Date. And she's like, what the fuck? How have I never seen this? This is amazing.
Okay, so I always get Blind Date and like Cheaters confused.
Yeah, because they were played in the same block on like UPN or something.
I don't remember which is which, to be honest.
How can you not? Just the titles tell you exactly which one is which one, Spenser. So Blind Date is the one where they follow people and catch their like significant others cheating on them.
Wait.
I'm fucking with you. No, that's Cheaters, Spenser. Okay, obviously.
All right.
Blind Date is the one where they take people who have never met before and put them on, guess what? A blind date.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
Did that demystify it for you, Spenser?
No, I'm still confused, but it's okay.
It has like pop-up video type stuff.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, that's all you had to say.
Okay. So, speaking of blind dates, here's Blank Slate. 6 tracks on this one. This actually might have been my favorite Pike of the week.
This one is pretty cool. There's some really new agey moments on this. Some real Windham Hill ass shit. Like Windham ass Hill.
Definitely.
For real. Like this is the most Windham Hill type of thing I've heard him put out. And if you don't know what Windham Hill is, it's a famous new age / jazz record label. There's a lot of really great like 80s and 90s new age records came out on it. It's pretty rad.
Buckethead appears on one of them. A Will Ackerman album.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he does like 3 or 4 tracks on it. We've talked about it before.
Okay, I that's a thing I feel like I keep forgetting, and I'm like, wait, what? Every time.
Yeah, it was.
I'm pretty sure we actually listened to it together.
Maybe, yeah, it was back in '92 or '93 or something like that. It's pretty good. Highly recommend it. Just look up Will Ackerman Buckethead and you can find it.
Hell yeah. But yeah, this is very like new agey.
Yeah. Like the whole album wasn't perfect. And in fact, a lot of it like kind of got a little boring for me here and there. But like track 2, Opened to the Air, like rocked me. It was such a beautiful fucking song and super Windham Hill.
Yeah. That was the most Windham Hill song of it, and like that was the one that I wrote down. I was like, this song is really interesting.
The thing that really stood out is like it wasn't too repetitive, but he kept on playing a melody on the guitar that was just beautiful and got stuck in my head for a while.
Did you notice how like roomy and big the drums sounded?
That too. So the production on this album was great. The production on this and the last album were both very good. The next album, not so much at all.
You know what's funny is like when I'm thinking about this album in retrospect, I keep thinking about that particular song. But the first song on the album is like a metal song, or like a heavier rock song.
It's Blank Slate. It's kind of, I'd say, like slow alt melodic metal.
Yeah, there's like a guitar solo over like metal-ish riffs. It's like almost neoclassical in the beginning of it.
Kind of. It's just like driving. It's fine. It's very Buckethead, that's for sure.
It's very Buckethead, but yeah, it's like definitely like a subdued like metal / rock. But yeah, the next song, track 2 though, is really like kind of the peak of it. It's a hella song. Song.
Yeah, and like really thoughtful melodies in this one. It's not just like him doing a lot of backing tracks, kind of drag and drop, and like putting solos over it. Like this one felt really thoughtful, especially for one of his more acoustic-centered albums. Yeah,
I would agree.
Yeah, it was a good Pike. Not terribly consistent, but when it was really good, it was beautiful.
I would agree. Yeah, this is definitely one of those ones that I think is like, You know, it's one of those ones that might come out as being one of the better Pikes, all told, at the end of this, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely above average.
Above average, for sure.
What do you wish you had a blank slate for, Spenser?
My crimes, obviously.
Oh yeah, your fucking your Lyft fucking rating.
Yeah. My Lyft rating, for sure.
Yeah, you wish that guy's car door was clear of all your fucking white fucking claw vomit.
So much white foam coming out of me, man. Amazing. It was terrible. I don't think I've had a White Claw since that.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll really do it.
That broke me on White Claw.
That will happen.
It was a bad time. What's the worst drunk you've ever had?
The worst drunk, like the worst I've been drunk, or the worst
feeling?
Worst feeling.
While drunk.
Probably so that time that I've talked about on the podcast where I like blacked out and like lost my keys on the mayor's lawn.
Right.
Like
that was such a crazy story.
I was riding home on the bus. I very vaguely remember this, and I got out of the bus like way early because I just had to puke everywhere.
Oh yeah, you had a moment like me, except like you could have been a bus vomiter.
Yeah, and so, but no, I was like, I held it in my mouth and like pulled the stop thing and like held it in my mouth for like 30 seconds. Holding vomit in your mouth like makes you vomit again.
Yes, definitely.
And so this was just like recursive vomiting, like. You know how like good saxophonists can do like recurrent breathing or whatever?
Yeah, definitely.
It was like that, but with fucking puke.
Yeah. You started a new cycle, a new ecosystem.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That was never again. Never again.
What never again?
Getting that drunk and getting on the bus ever again.
Yeah.
I'd rather pass out in the street.
Or the mayor's lawn.
Speaking of passing out on the mayor's lawn, Pike 258 Echo. Mm-hmm. Released on March 30th, 2017, 6 days after Blank Slate.
Hell yeah.
Well, I like this background. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Is it like a purple Star Wars thing?
It's like a purple vehicle going down a purple road.
I couldn't see the vehicle, so it kind of looks like
it's the inside.
Death Star
it's the inside diagram of the vehicle.
Oh,
and you can see the like little heads-up display.
Oh, okay.
It's like the dashboard of a vehicle.
Oh, Paradise by the Dashboard Light?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Speaking of Meatloaf, this album is 3 tracks of, subpar meat baked into a cake.
I've never had meatloaf. Can you tell me what meatloaf is?
It's a loaf of meat, Spenser. It's in the name.
I'm still confused by this.
It's like Blind Date and Cheaters. Like, just fucking figure it out.
Shit.
Use the English language. Deduce.
How do you make meat into a loaf?
You bake it, just like any kind of loaf. What? It's like a giant
I don't understand what this is.
It's like a giant meatball, basically. Like, if a meatball was a cake instead, that's kind of what it is.
A meatball cake.
Like, think about cake pops and think about a cake. A cake pop is to a meatball as fucking like a actual like maybe a bunt cake or more a pound cake is to a meatloaf. See what I'm saying?
You kind of lost me a little bit, but I like the idea of a meat cake.
That's kind of what it is.
That does help. Okay.
It's like a pound cake but made of meat.
What's in there? Like flour and stuff?
No, I mean you usually use just a little bit of a binder, but the binder is usually going to be like panko crumbs
or like egg. Probably.
Oh yeah, you usually use just a little bit of egg, a little bit of ketchup, some panko crumbs, and then of course you got like ground meat, but you also have usually like sautéed onions, peppers, whatever else you want to put in there, and usually you top it with either a tomato sauce or a ketchup, depending on. It's usually a regional thing. Midwestern is more, fucking ketchup, and like coastal is more tomato sauce.
Why is the Midwest just always a nightmare for food? Every time I hear like Midwestern food described to me, I'm like, oh my God.
Well, think about like all their heritage, man. It's like they moved from fucking like Sweden and like Scandinavia into landlocked states. So they're used to eating bullshit like fucking pickled fish and whatever. And you move them into a place where there's like literally no fish except for like shitty, greasy lake fish.
Oh, and so yeah, like, greasy lake fish.
What do we do? Like, what do we actually have here? Oh, we have an ultimate abundance of corn and wheat. What can we make out of those 2 ingredients?
Like
casserole, baby.
Greasy Lakefish sounds like a band that would play at a bar around here.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like King Guppy and the Greasy Lakefish or some dumb shit
That
like that.
sucks. I
Yeah,
hate
know.
that band
That's
name.
such a dad band.
Fuck you for coming up with that band name.
Oh, yeah.
I hate that. you got to host a real or fake one of these days.
With dad bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be nothing but bar rock bands.
Yeah, bar rock. Yeah, that's fun. I like that.
Okay, well.
Oh, you know what we could do? The next guest we have on, we'll both do a real or fake segment just to quiz the guest.
Oh, they'll love.
Sounds so annoying.
Yeah, that'll definitely be a repeat guest. Thankfully, we only have like 15 episodes left of this thing because no one's gonna want to come back on again.
You know, honestly, everybody that I've asked to come back on has been like, absolutely. So, you know.
What a bunch of losers.
What a bunch of losers, exactly.
What a bunch of losers.
This album is mid.
This album is pretty mid. So it's just 3 tracks. It's like an 8-minute track, a 15-minute long track, and a 7-minute long track.
It's not a bad album.
It's not bad, but it's
not
very
great.
repetitive though.
It's
I will
very,
say that
like
it is.
yeah.
It is one of the most drag and drop DAW albums I've heard from Buckethead in quite a while, to be honest.
A lot of his stuff more recently has felt very authored.
It depends. It depends.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a pretty even 50-50 mix to where like a lot of it has felt very authored and almost maybe even recycled. Like he took some backing tracks from a bunch of other Pikes or something and rearranged them. Like it sounds like there's nothing new going on in a lot of the Pikes, but the ones where there is something new going on, like he has like a burst of energy and inspiration, and like some of the best Pikes have been in the 220s, 230s, 240s.
Honestly, they're some of the best Pikes.
Yeah,
and
straight up.
And I don't say that as a victim of Stockholm Syndrome. I honestly feel like I still pretty much have the same opinion of Buckethead that I had when I started this. I do respect him more, but like other than that, I feel like I feel the same about him.
Right. And in as much like I feel like, you know, the level of consistency and quality is pretty even across all of the Pikes.
Yeah. Honestly, except for the Halloween Pikes.
Exactly. The Halloween Pikes, obviously, in like even like the ones a little bit before that, he was kind of running out of steam, but like, you know, because in 2016 he released so fucking many that like some of them were gonna be stinkers.
Yeah.
Because like even without the Halloween Pikes, he still released like 88 Pikes or something that year without the Halloween ones, which is nuts.
Yeah.
So you know, they can't all be winners.
They can't all be winners, but you know, honestly, for a project like as immense as this one, like he's had way more winners than I think either of us expected.
Yeah,
like it's pretty impressive. But yeah, this one's I feel like an average Pike.
Yeah, second song, Echo. It's a 15-minute long nylon string song.
It's all right.
Super slow, very repetitive. I really honestly like I stopped taking notes at some point.
Me too.
And forgot the album was playing.
Me too.
And I didn't realize it was over until the whole album was over.
Oh my god! I actually rolled into another random
same
Pike
here.
and got halfway through it before I realized this one was done.
Yeah, and
I was like,
and then I had to go back and listen. And like Table, I think is really because Table is like a 7-minute long blues solo.
I am the table. I am the table.
It's not nearly as good as Metallica or Lulu's I Am the Table.
Yeah, Metallica and Lou Reed's.
Yeah,
Lulu's I Am the Table.
Yeah, that song rocks. Go listen to it right now.
If you can find it on the internet.
True.
They've been trying hard to scrub the internet of that shit.
I mean, they can't get rid of everything because, you know what, baby? We have wicked wisdom.
Yeah, we do. We finally found
My
it.
story, baby.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So, say you yell into the Buckethead Canyon. What echoes back?
The Bucket Canyon?
The Bucket Canyon.
I say it's just like funny noises, like
ooh, it just sends back your voice, but like through a wah pedal or a whammy pedal.
Oh, that's pretty good.
You go like echo, and it goes echo.
Yeah. You know what would be a fun thing to do?
What's that?
Is just start like a really weird YouTube channel where you like where you just be like, hi, my favorite movie is Speed from 1995, and here's my favorite scene from Speed, but the audio is run through a boss metal zone.
That would be pretty sick.
And then it's just a scene from Speed, and you play the audio from through a boss metal zone, and there's like an on-screen like camera feed of the pedal.
No,
you
he
know?
has like a full pedal board, and like for each character, he does different effects and shit. And he's like, "This is a dialogue solo from Speed, baby."
And yeah.
Wee.
Next week I'll be doing Harry Potter in the Chamber of Secrets. My favorite films.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
That'd be super fun.
Wow,
That was all the fucking Pikes for the week.
All the motherfucking
Pikes. How about that? It was
Bucket Pikes.
It was a pretty average week for Pikes. Maybe a little bit above average. I don't know.
I would say a little above average. We liked 2 of them.
Yeah,
we liked 2 out of the 3. I think that means above
there was
average.
a diminishing law of quality this week. Not bad all over. I really like the artwork on all 3 of them.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I really liked the artwork on all 3 as well, especially Pike 256.
Yeah, Meteor Firefly Net. It is goth as fuck. It looks like a Carpenter Brute album cover.
It really does. Yeah. Looks like that album that we talked about the other day. Yeah. Yep. Hell yeah. All right, Brit. Are you ready to go on a journey with me?
I'm always ready to go on a journey. Fucking away from here.
Let's fucking do it.
Statements from the Bucket
Oh my God. All right. So, hey, we're at the part of the show where we look at YouTube comments and laugh at them. Ha ha. Let's just get going. Jason Smith says 1 year ago, kick Ace.
Freely out of Kiss. Fuck you, Ace. I'm kidding. He's been gone for like 30 years. Fuck you, Ace.
Kick Ace.
Kick Ace.
Kick Ace.
Kick Ace.
YouTube user Bruce Wayne says 3 years ago, and they give a timestamp, and then they say equals mind completely blown plus hair on the back of my neck standing up, plus tear in my eye. I can die now that knowing I have heard the most powerful guitar riff of all time. Wow! Just wow!
He said as he kicked the stool.
Yeah. He's freaking out, man.
Well, he can die now.
Yeah, he can die now.
He's ready to go.
He's ready to go. I mean, have you ever listened to music that made you just be like, yeah, I've heard it all?
I mean, I've listened to a lot of music that's made me want to die, but
That's true. Me too.
Like, Eric Clapton's "Tears in Heaven," but not exactly this. Not that's made me have my mind blown and a tear in my eye. Usually, a blowjob does that for me.
Cool. We didn't need to go there. Where we do need to go though, YouTube user Polypolyate, a famous YouTuber who posts all of the Pikes. 5 years.
Buckethead archivist.
A Buckethead archivist and promoter online, Polypolyate, post in his own comment section for one of the Pikes that we listened to this week, 5 years ago. I'm sorry to announce the passing of Chuck Berry on this day, March 18th, 2017. R.I.P. Chuck.
Dude, he was the greatest to ever do it, and by do it I mean install cameras in the women's restroom of several of his restaurants to make footage to masturbate to.
Yes, he did that.
He also there's a great video of him online of him farting in a prostitute's face and going, "Hey, that's a fart right there." It's like one of my favorite things to watch. Once a year,
that to me.
Once a year, I've got to watch like the 3 videos. There's that one. There's fucking Mike Pence talking about Garfield's birthday.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
I'm sure there's a 3rd video, but it's really just those 2 that keep me going.
Yeah. Saddam Hussein's beheading.
It was a hanging.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, maybe when I don't like when Gaddafi dies. Gaddafi was kind of sick. They ripped his dick off. They did our boy Gaddafi dirty. They did Gaddafi dirty.
He maybe did himself dirty. AM says 9 months ago, Bucket Bobby.
I don't know whether or not this belongs in Cum Corner.
Oh, really? Bubby?
Bubby.
What does Bubby mean?
I don't know. I think it's like a Jewish thing. It's like, oh, Bubby. Like
Bubby.
It's like a,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. I believe you. David Winchell says 5 years ago, I absolutely love the pretty parts, and as a huge supporter of Bucket, parentheses, not trolling at all, I just wish I could keep hearing him do them instead of jumping into breakneck horror movie riffs, lol. I don't know what that means.
I mean, what album are you talking? Because, I mean, most of these albums, he just repeated a lot of the pretty riffs a lot.
Yeah.
Like all of them, actually. There weren't that were, come on.
This dude is scared by metal.
Oh, I guess so.
Metal is scary.
Yeah.
Which I guess, okay, I'm sure metal's scary to some people, but that's kind of, like, come on, it's 2022.
It's kind of fucking weak, man.
It's 2022.
Right?
Nobody's afraid of metal anymore. Like, don't be a wuss.
Some sheltered ass bullshit.
Shelter lounge ass bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
That's a bar in Seattle.
Sure.
Moon says 4 years ago, in a reference to something you said earlier today, I thought Pike 256 would have some kind of binary related name and lots of computer noises in it. 256 equals 100 million in binary.
Well, I mean, much like myself, the Pikes are all non-binary.
Hey.
All right.
Uwe Gierkin says 4 years ago, I am back. Listen to this one a lot recently.
Welcome back, Uwe.
Ilonsky replies 1 month ago, so 4 years later, and says,
Where?
We are you are from.
That's true. We are you are from.
No, sorry. We are you from.
We are you from? The youth of the nation.
Perfect. I love it when people post weird random shit like, I am back. And then somebody responds like 4 fucking years later with a nonsensical reply. It's like,
That's
yes,
so good.
I love this.
That's
This
so
is
good.
what I come to YouTube for. YouTube comment section.
Yeah.
I want to see fucking nonsense. The barrier for entry to comment on YouTube is so low.
Oh, it's literally, do you have something to type with? That's it.
And a Google account.
Yeah.
Any Google account.
Yeah. It's maddening. Like the low bar of entry there.
It's pretty good.
The bar
good.
is on the fucking floor. It's so low.
Yeah. Speaking of Google, a bit of a rant here for just a second, bit of a sidebar. Google's support or their lack of support for any of their products is fucking shocking.
Yeah.
That company has the worst technical support of any major tech company by a wide margin. It is shocking, truly. Like, I have helped multiple people that have gotten to a point with their Google account where Google just has a landing page that it sends them to if they try to log in that says, you cannot recover your account. Create a new account.
Wow.
And they you can't even call somebody. Like, there's just you can get locked out and they can just say nope. Make a new account. That's the fix.
That's insane.
It's insane. Fuck that company.
Mhm.
For that specifically, they offer some good services outside.
They do.
But,
They have
like,
some good
I'm not
products.
I'm not saying fuck Google,
Yeah.
but like that. Fuck their lack of support. That really sucks.
Fuck all like multinational companies. Like you
Yeah.
you don't become a multinational company without like completely removing all of the labor and resources from at least one third world country.
That's true.
There's
That's true.
there's
I mean,
no
like,
possible way to do it.
That's the thing. Like, there's no way to be good.
There's
It's all bad.
One might say there's no ethical consumption under
capitalism. Moving on.
on.
Jim Leonards says 6 months ago, edited, have to agree with all these nice people, Brian. Your melodies and frenzied power riffs are straight from the gods above through those sacred hands to our spinal cords and onto our brains, making it possible to envision something beyond our tiny place in the world. Jim L.
You know what? I love this comment.
It's fucking tight.
This comment is so fucking this is Segan pilled right here.
Dude.
This is like the pale blue dot speech but for Buckethead.
Honestly,
Hell
it
yeah.
kind of is. And
This
I
rocks.
also like frenzied power riffs.
Yeah, fuck
Fuck
Jim
yeah.
Leonards, you're our commenter of the week that's not Jordan Vine.
Oh,
Jordan Vine's our commenter of the week every week.
He's our commenter of the podcast.
Even if he didn't say anything on any of the Pikes, he's always our commenter of the week. You're number 2 though, runner up.
Can I tell you my favorite? What would be my favorite thing in the whole world?
What's that?
Is if Jordan Vine started commenting on our podcasts that are on YouTube. Could you imagine?
That'd be a lot to handle, man.
I like that's too much for me.
I would. One of us would call the other one freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, we would at any time of the day.
Yeah,
or night.
like that. That's the only, you couldn't call me for like an actual emergency at any time, but
Definitely.
that, yeah, anytime.
Yeah.
dude. Anytime.
Thanks for clarifying.
You're welcome.
YouTube user Boss Verberg says 3 years ago, I listened to guitarists most of my life, but I'm so glad I found this music. It's music that you need in your head while creating art. It sounds like fantasies.
You know, the Boss Verberg is my favorite reverb pedal.
Yes, same. YouTube user Dummographics is Destiny.
That's stupid.
Says 3 years ago, thank you for providing me with a wealth background music to climb myself up from rock bottom, Mr. Head and Uploaders. There's got to be a sentient AI supercomputer underneath that goddamn bucket.
Yeah, I mean, that's a typical sentiment that Buckethead is not human. Whatever.
Yeah, but him, the interesting thing here is him climbing himself up from rock bottom. I wonder what his rock bottom is.
Yeah. Do you think he came out of an OD and Buckethead was playing or something?
No. I think he got fired from his job at the health club for smelling the towels after girls used them, and then now he's like, he can't pay rent, and so he's got to like do a bunch of like Uber Eats and shit, and so he just like listens to Buckethead all day while he does Uber Eats, and he like steals a little bit of food here and there.
Yeah, I bet he wishes there was an app called Uber Feets, because that's his fetish.
Yeah, totally.
Feet and towels, baby.
Feet and towels.
Feet and towels.
Yeah, I like that. Don T says 2 years ago, the progression and playing are both superb on this track. My God, son, do you know how good you really are?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that he's like pretending to talk to Buckethead.
Yeah. Do you think Buckethead ever goes on YouTube?
No.
I don't think so either.
I don't think that he does.
And if he does, he never looks at the comments section.
Buckethead seems like the type of dude that's like pretty, and I could be wrong. We don't know anything about him, so we're always speculating, right? Like, but he seems like the type of dude who I imagine he probably has a really big like VHS and DVD collection.
He feels very analog to me. Yeah.
And like he has a lot of physical media for the things that he likes.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he doesn't have streaming services and doesn't like have like a modern TV
like,
and shit.
We know he's like a toy collector, and toy collectors tend to have like big physical media.
I bet he has a large physical media collection. I bet that like he watches, and we know he's a big fan of sports, so I bet he watches a lot of sports, and he also probably watches a lot of like his physical media collection, and probably buys a lot. I would guess Buckethead spends a lot of time on eBay. I would bet he's a big eBay guy.
I would love to find his eBay account. That would be fascinating.
Yeah.
To just look through his transaction history. Fucking fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet he seems like the sort of person who spends a lot of time looking at stuff on there, but rarely buys stuff.
That makes
sense.
sense.
He buys like stuff, but like not like a ton, maybe. Or maybe buys a ton. I don't know. We don't know. Benamra Bassnett says 4 years ago, this song will staple the mouths of all the envious trollers.
That is intimidating, man. Wow.
It's really intense, dude.
Staple the mouths? What the
Staple
fuck,
the
dog?
mouths!
That's some fucking like horror porn shit right there.
Well, Buckethead loves horror.
That's true. He loves horrors too.
Whoa. We don't know about that. We have an unconfirmed report. And I'm going to bring this up again because I remember talking about this in a very early episode, but like somebody sent me a super long time ago message on Instagram that were like, hey, I work at a venue, and when Buckethead played at my venue, he hit on the venue manager and like asked her out. And like that sounds so crazy to me.
That had to have been
like
pea sticks.
Yeah.
It had to have been pea sticks.
Maybe it was,
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I would believe it from pea sticks for
It's
sure.
like, hey, you ever stick like a drumstick in a grown man's penis?
Yeah. You ever done that? You ever like
fingered
a pee hole?
Yeah.
Anyways, YouTube user. Oh, this is going to be a back and forth. So I'm going to need you to read the next comment, okay?
Fair enough.
YouTube user Stormrider asks, any other guitarist release more albums than Buckethead?
And Dr. Villager says after that, Stormrider 777. Yeah, Merzbow. Yes, his stuff apparently qualifies as music.
Stormrider responds, wow, just listen to Merzbow's. Terrible. Not music. It's noise and static.
Dr. Villager says, 5 years ago edited, it's a genre called noise. Buckethead experimental with it before too, I think. It's very eccentric. Seen as experimental genre where they try to find a middle ground between sound and music. This also isn't the worst genre out there, XD, but it is very old. Noise music has been around for 100 years now. I don't know. It's just something for like 5 music snobs to fap to. Who can name more obscure genres, XD?
I just really like that last line. 5 music snobs to fap to. Yeah, that's pretty good. Almost a cum corner. Almost a cum corner, but not quite. Ghostwriter says, or asks 5 years ago, is that the sound of maracas? And David Escalante responds, bongos, but it's spelled like mangoes.
No, it's bongoes.
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 Bongoes. I just really like that.
Bongoes. Bong.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Terry Bohannon asks absolutely no one 1 year ago, what do you mean by acoustic?
Great question.
It's a great fucking question. I don't know. What do we mean by acoustic? Mark R. says 2 years ago, thank you, Brian. I see you, brother guitarist. You're beautiful.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful.
In every single way.
That's not how the song is.
Oh, yeah. You were singing that other song.
Yeah, you're thinking of Christina Aguilera.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Why am I doing this all as gay Romano?
Yeah, I was going to
Maybe
ask.
because I could sure go for a big bag full of uncut cocks, right? Mm-hmm.
This isn't funny. But you know what is funny?
Getting horny, massive boner. Let's get into the cum corner.
YouTube user Adam Crossland says 2 years ago, 9 months straight bucket all day, every day. I simply can't listen to anything else anymore. All I want in my ears is Buckethead.
It might have been 9 months, but it was not straight at all.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
definitely not. Exactly. Benamra Basnet returns.
I know what you're saying. That's good shit, man.
Benamra Basnet returns 4 years ago. I'm gonna burst now. Boom.
As a wise band once said, boom, here comes the boom. Here comes.
Ready or not.
Here comes the boys from the South. Here come the boys in your South, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
DB Cooper. This is outside of Cum Corner. We've left Cum Corner now.
Oh, no. Bye, Cum Corner.
Bye, Cum Corner.
Oh, no.
DB Cooper returns and says 5 months ago, man, I've been living a nocturnal life for a little, and these pikes hit differently when everyone's asleep on my side of the world. He's nocturnal.
Yeah.
You ever been nocturnal?
I've had nocturnal emissions.
Cool.
I went to college and had nocturnal admissions.
Shut up. It's time for our favorite commenter.
Oh, boy.
Master of the ship key, a bucket thought divine. Commenter extraordinaire, it's time for the refrain.
This is a giant Jordan Vine comment. It's so big. Maybe we'll come back to this one. Can you even read it from?
I can't read that at all. No.
Damn it. Okay.
You can send it to me.
I could actually we could share it. I can't read it from that far away. Okay.
No.
Yeah, it's very small. Okay, we'll do this one then. I think you can probably read that.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. So, Jordan Vine, in a truly unhinged rant, it's great. I love it.
I think he's said something like this very recently.
He's said stuff like this all the time.
Like
he says
his music,
yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
let's just
So both of these long Jordan Vine comments are like this. So Jordan Vine says, 4 years ago, when are people gonna realize and accept that it's his music, not ours? And if he does something you didn't want him to do, or you don't like something he's done, and you wish he'd done something else, tough shit! Because again, it's his music, not ours. He can do what the fuck he wants with his music. And again, if you don't like something he's done again, tough shit. I'll tell you this right now. I'm not fucking complaining and fucking moaning and analyzing and judging his music like I'm his fucking guitar teacher. I just do one thing, enjoy the music. There's nothing wrong with his music. Absolutely nothing. I truly believe that Bucket's music is the greatest and best music composed by anyone ever. Just remember, it's his music, not ours. He's the boss, not us. Buckethead forever. Holy shit.
I feel like
that was a manifesto.
I mean, you could just write Jordan Vine comments via AI. Like, it would not be difficult. Like, let's make a Jordan Vine bot. That'd be incredible.
Oh my God. You know what? Let's try to make a Jordan Vine bot and have it like post to Twitter, hourly Jordan Vine.
That would be incredible. I would love that. That'd be so funny.
I'll look into that. That could be a fun project. We're gonna do this one, and then we're gonna do the really long one, and it's gonna be brutal.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Jordan Vine says 4 years ago.
Incredible, incredible, incredible.
Because he
always, 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 without fail, puts out incredible music.
And I
know
and
believe
he will
never, ever, 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 ever put out anything boring, disappointing,
or
shit.
I
don't
think he has the ability to do that, because
everything
he composes and puts out is just
sensationally awesome.
That comment ruled. There was a good flow to that one.
Yeah, a good rhythm to it.
Good rhythm. Good job, Mr. Jordan. We love to see it. Okay, so I'm going to send you this insane one.
Yeah.
And it's going to take us a minute to get through. I think this is his longest comment. I have not seen a longer one. So take a peek at that. And so this is more of Jordan Vine complaining about people complaining about Buckethead. And so the stuff that he talks about in this comment, I just want to preface this, is not something I see very often on Buckethead YouTube. Just honestly, like, it's not very common. So like him seeing this and then becoming so offended by it is like extra funny.
So I have an idea for this one.
Yeah.
To break it up, the monotony a little bit. So we do the yells together, but other than that, let's switch off every other line.
Okay. That's going to be hard, but let's do it. Let's try it. Let's do it in one take. I think we're pros enough. I think we can handle it.
So the first line is yours, okay?
Why do people say,
I want him to do more of this?
I want him to do more of that.
I wish he would do this.
I wish he would do that.
Why did he do this?
Why did he do that?
He should do more of this.
He should do more of that.
I want another album like that one.
And other stuff.
I also know, why do people go through his albums and tracks and listen to
every note, every riff, every solo
to see if there's repetition and say,
I don't know why he did that.
He shouldn't have do that.
He should have done this instead.
That track sounds like that track.
That album sounds like that album.
He's done this before.
He's done that before.
He's repeating himself. Blah, 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 fucking blah. Look, everyone, it's his fucking music. It's his.
And
only his, not ours.
It's
his. He's in charge.
He's
the boss. He's the decision maker with what albums and music he does, because that's up to Buckethead. It's not up to us, because the bottom line is it's his music. If you don't like something
he's done,
doesn't mean
he's done something
wrong,
and he
shouldn't have done it. Again, it's his music, not our music. So please, please, please leave him alone to compose whatever music he wants to compose. Christ almighty.
Bro, that was heavy.
I'm losing my mind.
I honestly feel like we did pretty good for our first take.
Yeah, that was something else.
Nice. That got really hard switching back and forth. Woof.
It got hard all right. That's why I'm crossing my legs right now to hide my boner.
Jordan Fine.
Oh boy, guess where we are now?
We're still in the bucket void. We're not done. We're not done with the bucket void. We're not done with the bucket void. We have one bucket void left. One bucket void left.
I don't want to send it back. Send it back.
No.
Waiter, I did not order this comment. Send it back to the kitchen.
You're coming with me on this journey. YouTube user RC Swissmade says 1 year ago, simply, where we go one, we go all.
Statements from the bucket boy. Bucket boy.
Wow. Zing, zang, zong. Smoke of that bong. Here we are in recommendations.
Yeah, we're here, Brit. What you got to recommend this week?
Holy shit. I watched a film last night.
A film?
What is that? That came out just a month or so ago called Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Holy shit.
Wow, a lot of people have been telling me that. But
straight up 10 out of 10 film. I've never seen anything like it. It was so fucking good. Like, I can't explain it other than that it's a immigrant family drama that's wrapped up in a sci-fi kung fu film.
Okay.
And it does everything perfectly. It's one of the funniest movies I've seen in years, and also one of the most touching movies I've seen in years.
Nice.
Straight up,
it's cool when you can blend that.
Yeah, I have. When I'm alone and like watching a movie, I rarely like laugh out loud by myself. But there was like a couple scenes in particular where I like almost cried laughing at this film, and then there were a couple scenes where I just cried crying at this film because it was fucking touching.
That rocks.
Amazing film. Check it out. What do you got to recommend, Spenser?
Damn. Okay, that's heavy, man. I don't know how I can follow up enthusiasm like that, but like, okay. Remind me, I can't actually remember if I recommended Forza Horizon 5 in a previous episode. So. Okay, so that is by far my recommendation. Now, I've been really fucking...
I'm sorry, what was this, Foreskin Horizon 5?
Yes, exactly.
Foreskin Horizon 5.
Yes, it's... Yeah.
Is it about like creating the 5 skin? Like we've got to make something better.
Yeah. Foreskin Horizon 5 is the name of the episode.
Okay.
It's so... Forza Horizon 5 is a video game, and now here's the thing. Let me preface this by saying this. I've been incredibly busy lately. I've actually had barely any time to play video games, but what little time I have had to play video games, I've mostly spent playing Forza Horizon 5 and listening to a podcast at the same time. It's been very nice to do that. Quite relaxing. But this game, it's a racing game. It's a driving game. It's an open world driving game. Tons of cars, all this stuff.
Maybe you have recommended this before. You've definitely talked about it on the thing before.
I've talked about it.
You've talked about your Rick and Morty car and shit.
Yeah, so this is where I have my Rick and Morty cars. It's where I have my Family Guy car. It's where my license plate says WWG1 WGA. It's where...
You know what? I think you have recommended this before.
Well, okay. I got to talk about it, okay?
Fine.
If I have recommended it before, I have another recommendation that we can pair with this to make it make sense. But I highly recommend playing that game, listening to a podcast, making your cars look fucking stupid. It's really fun. It's really great. It's been a great way to pass the time. I'll pair this with like just a general like my quick takes on video games I've checked out recently. Microsoft Flight Simulator, the new one.
Yeah.
I tried that. I crashed my plane. It's hard. There's a lot of complicated things to do on a plane to make it fly right.
Yeah, it's like a real plane. Like,
if you don't do the things, you fucking crash, you fucking die.
Yeah, it's not like hit a button and you go up and you can just cruise from there. It's like pilot shit.
It's pilot shit.
Yeah.
I a while back, but still relevant. I was able to go back and play a lot of Prey from 2017. If you're unfamiliar with Prey, it's a game made by the Dishonored folks.
Oh, that's the Christian
Arcane
game where you talk
Studios.
to God, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Correct.
I've played the analog version of that game quite a bit, especially before I go to bed at night.
That's really good. That's really good. I like that, Brit. Prey from 2017 is a pretty cool game. Here's the thing about that game. I tried to play this game before I didn't get into it. It's an immersive sim, meaning it's like you can do a lot of stuff. It's like a first-person action game. You can do a lot of stuff. That being said, I didn't really get this game. I didn't really gel with it until I heard its original title before their publisher made them take the title Prey to make use of the IP. The original title for the game was Neuroshock. And when you know that, and then you play the game, you're like, oh, they're doing a Bioshock. It's Bioshock, but it's in space, basically. But it's fun. It's good. I like it. It's a good game. Recommended. 2017. You probably get it for really cheap. I got it for free on the Epic Games Store last month. So, yes, play that. Check it out. It's rad.
Super
Duper. Also, listen to our Star Trek podcast because there's some good shit in there.
Yeah.
Some good discussion, some good shit. We're going to do another stream tonight. I'm very excited about it.
And
We'll be continuing to do streams every
the
week.
next day or two.
Hell yeah. So, is it time for my favorite part of the show?
I think it is.
Ha 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 ha, bucket joke. Ha 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 ha, bucket joke. Ha 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 ha, bucket joke. Ha 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 ha, bucket joke.
Down at the bathhouse, they call me Jason Statham because I crank two and then leave.
I love that.
Weird how Keith Urban and Carl Urban are both white dudes. Marketing terms led me to believe that word meant something entirely different.
Woof. Oof.
It's a shame they stopped putting missing children on the side of milk cartons. What are libertarians supposed to masturbate to while eating breakfast?
Why are they masturbating while they're eating?
Because they're libertarians. I don't know, man.
Using like syrup as lube.
Yeah, dude. Fucking
packing and jacking.
My fetish is that one blue Muppet with the weird nose.
Oh.
Turns out that there's an entire genre of pornography just for me.
Oh.
Gonzo.
I like how you whispered it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's good.
I started a new business. I am selling contradictions for free.
Cool.
I watched Beyonce's video album Lemonade the other day, which made me wonder if life gave her a video album called Lemons.
Okay.
I robbed a Domino's pizza the other day, but once I knocked over one, they all got knocked over.
Domino Masters now on Hulu.
Cool. I made a straw man argument, but since they banned the plastic ones, it's paper thin. What do WWE and James Brown have in common?
What?
Well, both of them spent a lot of their money on The Rock in the early 2000s. It's a crack rock joke.
Yeah.
James Brown did a lot of crack.
That's
tight.
right.
I'll end on this one. For libertarians, an Amber Alert is just a masturbation reminder.
Bucket joke. We made it to the end of the episode,
and we did. And guess what? We got one more thing after this. But let's before we do that, Spenser, where can we find you on the internet?
Spenser.zone.
Cool.
What about you?
You can find me at Dog Forbus, but you know what? Just go to at a Bucketcast and hit me up there. Or you know what? At Soy Trek. Hit me up there.
Soy Trek.
Yeah, we especially if you want to talk about Star Trek, I'm talking about Star Trek with motherfuckers all day.
We be fucking trekking.
We got opinions.
We
You
be
got
trekking.
opinions. Let's share our opinions. Bitch. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Hell yeah.
I've been Britain.
And I've been Spenser. You've been listening to Gettin Head.
A Bucketcast. Stay greasy, bucket heads.
Hey, bye.
Due to your Zoogle flacency, I'm going to have to nibble the friggin' spagendackle back into the hellier spuckin' muckin'. Whoops.
One more thing.
You can't try to get laid or watch people. You gotta go out and get that job. What a waste of pleasure. What a waste of pleasure. What a waste of pleasure.
So let me give you some context on mine. This is a conversation between High on Fire and Sleep guitarist Matt Pike and a journalist from NPR.
Lovely.
Uh,
Would you like me to be Matt Pike or the journalist?
That's a great question. Yeah, why don't you be the Matt Pike? Do a classic Ralph for this one.
Okay.
Uh,
My name is Ryan. Okay.
yeah, the classic Ralph.
Mhm.
You do a good classic Ralph. So here's the context here. So Matt Pike is not necessarily like under fire, but a lot of people have been talking to him recently because he talks about conspiracies a lot.
It does.
He
I
takes
never noticed.
he takes a lot of like inspiration for his music from conspiracies, but he's lately been talking a lot about how cool David Icke is. And if you aren't familiar with who David Icke is, he's like a super racist dude.
Yeah, he's like
He's
Protocols of the Elders of Zion type guy.
He is literally banned from the country of Australia for being so anti-Semitic. Like he's not allowed in the country because of that.
We love that.
And
we
like
love Australia
so it's
being
like, it's
don't come
not
there.
chill, I guess, or like they had a recent conversation about it and it was weird and was funny. But anyways, he likes David Icke a lot. But he's like he's not racist,
Sure.
not racist.
Uh-huh.
Says it's not racist.
All right. Sure.
Whatever. But anyways, let's do it. Ready?
Yep.
Jesus Christ, Matt Pike! Aren't you supposed to be dropping out of life with a bong in hand?
Now, there's a new David Icke book coming out on the 4th.
You can't keep talking about David Icke in interviews. People will think you're anti-Semitic.
Nah, I'm gonna keep reading and recommending his books about all the lizard peoples.
Matt, I'm getting tired of it. You're gonna realize that these conspiracy theories are just thinly veiled bigotry today. Today.
This is muffed up. I'm gonna go follow the smoke to the rift-filled land in the sky tonight.
Back at NPR, we try to inform people about anti-Semites like David Icke. I'd like you to disown him, stupid.
You couldn't disown the side of a barn.
What? If this blows up on the internet, you'll understand how seriously people take this stuff.
Well, this isn't the internet. I'm safe from how the ruling lizard elite.
I can't believe you don't understand that this is all about how David Icke hates Jewish people.
David Icke hates Jewish people?
What a waste of riffs.
My name is Matt.
Your naive interest in conspiracies makes you a good target. By the end of the day, you better understand why this shit is stupid. See this anti-Semitism? It's gonna hurt people.
No.
Put down the bong!
Lovely.
Yeah,
Just lovely.
pretty good stuff.
All
right.
What
What are we doing?
So my next one is something we haven't discussed it before. It has been discussed on our sister podcast, Nothing Lasts Forever, the November Rain podcast. This is about something that happened at the 1992 Video Music Awards between Guns N' Roses lead vocalist Axl Rose and Nirvana frontman Kurt Cobain.
Okay.
They had been going back and forth in the press for quite some time, and they kind of had it out backstage. So,
wow. Okay.
you can choose whoever you want to be here.
I'll be Kurt.
All right, you're Kurt. Switch it up.
He talks like this. No.
Right?
No. Kurt actually talks he talks like Pacific Northwest metalhead. Like, hey man, how you doing? Like kind of.
Hey man.
Not. He doesn't sound stoned at all. He sounds very normal.
Okay.
That's better. Yeah.
All right.
About that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. You want to switch the pictures real quick? There we go. All right. Hey, Kurt. Aren't you and Courtney Love supposed to stop dissing me in the press today?
Nah, there's the 1992 Video Music Awards at 4.
You can't win no video music award. You gotta tell your bitch to shut up.
Shut up. Bye. Oh.
Let's restart this whole
Let's
thing.
restart this one.
Okay. Hey, Kurt. Aren't you and Courtney Love supposed to stop dissing me in the press today?
Nah, there's the 1992 MTV Video Music Awards at 4.
You can't win no video music award. You gotta tell your bitch to shut up.
Shut up, bitch.
Your wife better shut up, or I'm taking you to the pavement today. Today.
This is muffed up. I'm nodding off.
Man, back in the Paradise City, we killed sissies like you. I'd like to beat you up, stupid.
You couldn't slash the side of a barn.
If we welcomed you to the jungle, I'd slice your throat.
This isn't the jungle. My Courtney will save me.
I can't believe I even helped to make you.
Corporate rock made Nirvana?
Man, what a waste of music.
My name is Kurt.
God damn it, dude. Your forehead makes a good target. You better stop talking shit, or else. You see this Nirvana hat? I'm gonna burn it at a concert in Canada.
Meow.
Where do we go now?
Nice.
All right.
That was fun. That was stupid.
Well,
I love it.
That's it. That's our
That's it.
show.
That's
Go
it.
fuck yourself.
Bye.
Eat a dick. Bye.
Fuck you.